Hi guys, welcome to StunnerShare. So today we are going to see the continuation of Secrets of a Pivot Boss book reading video, chapter 10, multiple pivot hard zones. So we have posted 3 videos till now. One is on the introduction of like multiple pivot hard zones, and then I have also made a video on power of confidence. And then we have also seen the last video on double pivot hard zones. In double pivot hard zones, I have given you the introduction of what is double pivot hard zones and what are the resistances we can consider, and what is a resistance, what is a support, and what is H3 H4. Just because it is H3, just because it is H4, it is not blindly we have to follow that, and how we have to understand when a resistance is broken, how we have to consider when a resistance is actually showing some resistance. So all this has been discussed, and how you have to use double pivot hard zone with the candlestick setup. Without candlestick setup, it is not going to help you at all. So with the candlestick setup, try to make use of this content. Clear? Now we are going to see the continuation of double pivot hard zone with the examples he has shown in this book. He has given one example, that is for the crude chart. In this crude chart in 15 minutes time frame, and also please note, he is not bothered about any time frame. He's okay in having any time frame like 15 minutes, 60 minutes, 1 hour, like 1 day, any time frame you can use, but accordingly you have to use the pivots. If you're using 15 minutes, you have to use the daily pivots. If you're using 120 hours, like 2 hours, you better go for weekly pivots. If you're using daily chart, go for monthly pivots. If you're using weekly chart, go for yearly pivots. So you have to make use of those pivots as well. So now he's telling that there are 2 pivots which has to form a hard zone. Okay, that is the basic understanding of this topic of this chapter. Okay, double pivot hard zone means there are 2 pivots which are creating a hard zone, and it can be any indicator. So we are using like for till right now we are using floor pivots as well as Camarilla pivots. Okay, so to be clear, both pivots creating the hard zone do not have to identify the exact numerical value. Okay, what he is telling is that if, say for example, at this point, if you see, I'm just expanding more. Okay, so here these are 2 points. Okay, this value is around 20,877 and this value is around 20,872. Okay, so that does not mean that as both are lying in the same zone between 5-10 points value. Okay, whenever we say double pivot hard zones, it does not mean that both should apply in the same place. 20,875 only both should come. No, not at all. It can come at 20,870 and it can come at 20,880 also. But hard pivot zone is something like where 2 resistances or 2 supports or 2 calculated values or 2 indicators come at the same zone, not at the same identical points, same zone. So you have to make sure of that. Okay, so the pivots just have to be close enough. Okay, so that we are sure that it is somewhat closer. Okay, you should not consider, let me show you some point. You should not consider these points. Though it has taken support, okay, though it has taken support, but these points I will not consider. I would at least prefer this, because whenever I see some double pivot hard zones, I consider that sometimes it has to be the distance between 2 pivots should be very thin. It should not be very large. So if it is large, I don't prefer it. So if it is very thin, I give more importance to it. So that is what I prefer. Okay, so a double pivot hard zone indicates a major area of confluence. Not only double pivot hard zone, any pivot zone, any hard zone, whenever it forms, it actually indicates major area of confluence. So you need to still have the confirmation. That is what he has explained. You need to still have the confirmation based on the candlestick setup, which he has explained in chapter 2. I have made all those videos as well. So kindly watch those videos for better understanding of what is wick reversal setup, what is extreme reversal setup, what is doji reversal setup, and what is outside reversal setup. Clear? And now he is explaining with the with an example of chapter with an example for crude. Okay, in this example, crude, he has taken 15-minute chart. Here S2 and L4 are lying at the same zone. Okay, between 81.0 to 81.5 they both are lying, and actually S2 is lying at 81.15 and the Camarilla L4 is lying at 81. Okay, so just 0.15 is the gap distance. So this is considered as a double pivot hard zone. Okay, so whenever these hard zones are formed, can we go for a trade blindly? No, we have to wait what is going to happen at these zones. Okay, and before that you need to understand whether you need to find what is the trend of the market. Clear? Okay, so just because it is a support zone, you cannot always expect support to be taken, but double pivot hard zones give us as the opportunity for reversal. So that means you need to wait for an opportunity for reversal. You need to identify the trend. You need to identify the candlestick setup. If all four are coming, then you can go for a trade. First, identify the double pivot hard zone. Second, identify that the market is going to reverse at that point. But before to that, you need to check what is the market trend, whether it is uptrend or downtrend. And at last, you need to wait for the candlestick pattern to form. Accordingly, you can go for the trade. Okay, same here. This is a bullish trend what is happening, and double pivot hard zone is also formed in this particular chart, and at this zone we have seen an extreme reversal setup. What is extreme reversal setup already has been explained in the chapter 2 videos. Kindly watch the video for better understanding. Clear? And what happened after that? Once after this extreme reversal setup, he has indicated this triangle point. That means he has taken an entry, and from 81 zones it has gone to 83 zones. $2 movement has happened. If $2 movement in a crude oil is happening, that means he has gained $2,000 profit. Clear? So this is what you need to understand. Always does not mean that double pivot hard zone has to be perfectly aligned in one single line. It can have a minute gap between that. Okay, so you have to wait for the market reaction on how it is happening at the support zone or resistance zone, and then decide based on the candlestick setup. Okay, whenever he notices there is a strong pivot, double pivot support or resistances, he actually check for the trend. He wants to ride the trend. He does not want to go against the trend. And then he will see whether that particular zone, whether any candlestick pattern is happening or not. Okay. Say for example, in any uptrend, any pullback towards the double pivot hard zone is going to be a buying opportunity. So the responsive buyers will come into it and will take a decision and will be helping the market to go further upside. So you need to wait and capture the opportunity. Let's check in Nifty chart. Okay. First of all, let us go to daily time frame. Let's identify the trend. So if you see from here to here, from this is on October 26, 2003 till today, and it's been like 1.5 months of uptrend is happening. Now let us go into 15-minute chart and see what is happening with the market. Now let me go to October chart. Okay, from here let us see, because this is a bullish uptrend which has formed, and let's see whether any double pivot hard zone has been formed. Okay, so here is one double pivot hard zone, and at this double pivot hard zone we could see that the candlestick pattern has formed, and this is the extreme reversal setup pattern, and from there the market started moving up. Okay, and now let us see whether any other double pivot hard zone, and this is a double pivot hard zone, and this is a doji reversal setup, and from the doji reversal setup the market has moved up. And now let us see further, and this is also a double pivot hard zone, and here is also a wick reversal setup which has been formed, and from here the market has moved up. Yes, I would say that this is also a double pivot hard zone, but as the trend is up, as the bullish trend is happening, I would not short this stock. And that stock has actually gone sideways, and later it has gone one day bearish, but that should not be the case where you have to short the stock. If the trend is up, if the trend is bullish, if the trend is uptrend, then wait for the opportunity for support activity to taken. Clear? Now it has gone further up, and there are double pivot hard zones forming, but the candles have not reached to that place. So I'm waiting for those zones. Okay, so till now no. Okay, there is a double pivot hard zone over here, and 2 times the market took support and then started moving up. Here is also a double pivot hard zone. The market from the extreme reversal setup and moved up, and now it has moved up. Okay, so in 1.5 months of bullish trend, uptrend market, whenever the stock has moved towards L4 and S1 or L4 and S2 double pivot hard zone in Nifty, the market has actually taken support and moved up. So that is what he has explained in this concept. And now coming to E-mini, and this is also 15 minutes 2010 chart, and here also he is facing some resistance at R1 and H4. Okay, resistance R1 and H4, he is facing some resistance, and that resistance is, both the resistance are at the same zone, and that zone is called as the hot zone, and that is called as the golden pivot hot zone. And always you know that any pullback during a downtrend gives the sellers the advantage, and responsive sellers will be coming and pushing the price downwards to further support area. So that is what has actually happened over here. Here also, if you see, an extreme reversal setup has been formed, and once after the extreme reversals formed at the double pivot hot zone and the trend is also bearish, the market started moving down. Okay, and he is also saying that you can expect the target of the next support to be the target, and sometimes it is better you can trail your profit, or if you want to hold for a few hours or few sessions. But if until and unless the golden pivot zone is broken and closed, it is a good opportunity to go into that reversed direction, and that will give you a good profit for you. Clear? So he is also mentioning several forming factors contributed to the successful outcome of the setup. First, the market formed an established trend. What is the trend? It is the downward trend. Clear? And then the market gave a pullback opportunity. Yes, the market fallen down, gave a pullback opportunity, and that pullback opportunity halted at the double pivot hot zone at 719 rupees or dollars. Okay, now the responsive sellers will be pushing the market to go downside. Okay, and then extreme reversal setup also given the confirmation, so that the market gave a potential entry which confirmed that the bearishness to continue. Okay, the price reversed at the dual pivot point resistance. This is R1 and H4, where those two zones is called as resistance zones, and those two zones occurred at the same point, and in the first 1 hour of trading itself they got the reversal, and then it started coming down. Clear? So this is what has been discussed in this particular topic, example 2. So now we are going into the natural gas dollars chart, and now we are going to see the trend is in bearish zone, and we are going to see what are the double pivot zones formed and what price has done for that. So I'm able to see from Jan 23 only. Before to those charts are not visible because it is not a paid version. And here double pivot hot zone is formed, and if you see S1 and L4 is formed as the double pivot hot zone. And one more point you need to consider, S1 and L4 are support zones. That actually does not mean that it has to take support. It can also face some resistance because it has broken below it, and after that the prices started coming down. Okay, the prices have started to come down, and this is R2. Okay, this is double pivot hot zone, and this point is called as H4 and R1, and when prices moved at this zone after a breakout, but then it halted there and started reversing down. Clear? And now let us see any other point. Okay, here this is also a double pivot hot zone where R1 and H4 are lying at the same zone, and price touched R1 and then started reversing from there. This is also a double pivot hot zone, R1 and H4 lying at the same zone. Price broken above that, but then faced resistance at that zone and started coming down. Just because resistance is broken, that does not give you an opportunity to go long. You have to be very careful. You have to find what is the trend which is happening, and accordingly you need to act upon it. Here is also a double pivot hot zone. Market has taken support on this, and then here is a double pivot hot zone. Market faced some resistance and came down, and then it started moving up. I think here the trend has changed. If you see over here, from here the trend has changed, because after that I could see that this is a double pivot hot zone. Market took support from here and went up. Double pivot hot zone, market took support from here and went up. So this is one such a chart where the market is going up and down. That means it is forming a bullish trend and then forming a downward trend also. Accordingly, the market is respecting the double pivot hot zone and then forming the direction accordingly. Clear? So this is what has been discussed in this particular topic, what is called as double pivot hot zone. Is that the chapter over? No. The last one what we are going to see is called as boss in action. So here he will be explaining about one particular setup that is actually very useful. Let me take that setup in the next video, because already this video has gone for some time, and it will actually, you guys have to make note of certain points and you guys have to check in the chart so that you will be able to understand what has been discussed, whether it is working in the market or not. Clear? I hope this video is useful for you guys. If you feel the content is good, kindly give a like and share, and please feel free to post your queries in the comment section. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned for more videos.